The following announcement has been paid for by Evanism World Order.
Joker Folie is one of the most brilliant and genius and most prolific films ever created. And when you watch this film, either you're in on the joke or the joke's on you. Now, if you're one of the people that hated Joker 2 and you despised it, or you didn't understand it, or you thought it sucked, or perhaps you're one of the people that loved it, or maybe you haven't seen it yet, this video that you're about to see, I'm going to break it down for you why, exactly why Joker 2 Folie à Deux is probably the most genius movie ever created, but only in tandem with the original, of course. But when I promise you, if you watch this video from beginning to end, you will understand that Joker 2 Folie à Deux is indeed one of the most brilliant films ever. So, and of course, I'm going to talk about the events of the film. So, if you haven't seen the movie yet, this is one of those rare occasions where I would say, hey, watch this video before you go see Joker 2 Folie à Deux. Because even though I'm going to spoil what happens in the movie, this movie is a timeless masterpiece. And you can go into this movie knowing everything that's going to happen before you see it. And it's not going to change the impact of how brilliant this film is. But if you don't hear what I'm about to tell you, the brilliance may become lost upon you, because this is a really deep movie with a lot of subtext and messaging that is so subtle, because it never beats you over the head with it, that it's a little too subtle. So I'm going to explain it all for you right now. So let's start out with the whole Joker phenomenon and how we got to part 2 before I start speaking about the film itself. So, Joker has always been a popular member of the rogues gallery of Batman. And, he's always been beloved as a villain, as this kind of like comical, iconic villain in the Batman universe. And, there's iconic portrayals from, Cesar Romero and Jack Nicholson and Mark Hamill. But it wasn't really until Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker in The Dark Knight that the Joker became this kind of like cultural icon and this kind of counterculture icon and this kind of anti-hero. And I kind of blame the script and the performance of Heath Ledger for this phenomenon emerging. But in The Dark Knight, there's a gray zone about who's right and who's wrong between like the Joker and Batman, and they kind of, the way that the Joker challenges Batman in that movie, it kind of paints the Joker as kind of, hey, is this guy right? Or, who is right here? And so I think, in that era, this Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker kind of became this icon for a lot of people who felt downtrodden and abused and kind of thrown away by society, and they kind of saw him as the good guy. And it created this phenomenon where Joker fans became like this big thing, like to be a Joker fan and to be to love the Joker. And like Heath Ledger really made it this beloved character. And this was an era that, in a post Fight Club era, where we had characters like Tyler Durden, which were becoming these kind of anti-role models, if you will, that were being embraced by people because of the fact that people are just feeling so abused and shit on by society that they look to these characters for catharsis of wanting to see a character that can fight back against that in a very provocative way, where they get on top of this bullshit society. And so I think Todd Phillips, he had a vision in mind for that original Joker movie where he was going to kind of comment on that in a very unique way, on that phenomenon of Joker becoming this anti-role model, this anti-hero, without ever really earning it, without ever really, you know. So what he wanted to do, and I'm going to try my best not to build a straw man out of Todd Phillips in this review, and forgive me if I do, Todd, but what Todd did here in that original film, as far as commentary on all of that, is, you know, that original movie, we have it's such a prolific film, and it's set up as an origin story for the Joker. That's what it was advertised as. That's what the fans thought it was going to be. And for the most part, that paid off. But going into the film, before anybody knew it was actually going to be in the movie, people anticipated, all the Joker fans anticipated this movie as being perhaps the origin story for that Heath Ledger style of Joker, this genius, mastermind, chaos agent who's like here to be the Tyler Durden with clown makeup and fuck up society and make a statement, and he's a genius and blah 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 blah. That's what the people were hungering for. And I think Todd Phillips saw that and he bought into it. He played into that with the advertising for the first film. He made it seem like it was going to be this, this is the birth of the legend, the fucking anti-role model, the anti-hero, the Joker fan's hero who's going to, kick society in the nuts for, shitting on everyone. And like Todd Phillips played into that, but that first Joker movie is this movie that is so devoid of any like good people or heroes or people who do the right thing or innocent people. Like the only real innocent, decent people in that whole movie are Zazie Beetz' character and Gary Puddles. Everybody else is a fucking scumbag who fucks up and does wrong and fucks up and does all kinds of fucked up shit. There's no role models in that movie. Okay, it's devoid of role models. That whole fucking movie is just this devoid, it's completely devoid of role models. And yet they show in that first film that, yes, Arthur Fleck is a guy who was abused since he was a child, and he's been shit on by society, and he's constantly being shit on. And like, he's mentally disturbed, and he fights back, and he kills people, and he ends up killing 6 people. And throughout the movie, finally at the end, you see him as the Joker. Like all the DC fanboys, all the Joker fanboys are sitting there watching that movie, waiting for the fucking Joker. And boom, they get that end scene where where Arthur Fleck has finally become the Joker. And he, shoots, what's his name? Robert De Niro. Oh God, Murray. He shoots Murray in the head. You get what you fucking deserve. Boom, shoots him in the head, right? And I guarantee you, at that moment in time, all the Joker fanboys and most of the audience members who were watching Joker at that moment when he shot Murray in the head, after saying, you get what you fucking deserve, I guarantee you no one in the audience was going, oh no, I feel so bad for Murray. That was horrible what Joker just did. He did the wrong thing. No, people were like, ooh, yeah, get him. Boom, you get what you deserve, motherfucker. And like, out of all the people that hurt Arthur Fleck in his life, Murray Franklin, all he did was talk shit. All he did was say a couple words. And Arthur, boom, killed him. And most of you were like, yeah, oh yeah, that's my hero. Yeah, go Arthur. Or whoa, whoa. Like very few people were like, wow, that was very, very wrong what he just did. And so that whole fucking movie, Arthur Fleck is never the fucking anti-role model. He's never the anti-hero. He fucks up. He does all this wrong shit. He kills people. And yet, despite the fact that this version of the Joker isn't this fucking high IQ, fucking mastermind, criminal, fucking, I'm gonna fucking make a point and kick society in the nuts. Even though he's not that type of Joker, these toxic Joker fans and these Joker fans embrace this movie nonetheless. And that ending scene where like all hell's breaking loose and everybody's dressed as the Joker and the police cars are on fire and the city's on fire. Like that was like Todd Phillips trying to say, hey, this is the wrong way to go about things, right? And yet that message was still not received by the audience. They were still embracing this character despite the fact that he was a fuck up. And so like the first film is a masterpiece of a film, but it still had that reaction. And the lead up to it was just ludicrous. The fact that they were putting out this scare campaign that they thought that incels, quote unquote, were going to be dressed as a Joker and shooting people in the theater and shit, which is understandable because of the Aurora or was shooting in the theater with Batman, The Dark Knight, or whatever, the Rise of the Dark Knight. And like, so it's understandable to be a little scared of that, but they overhyped it. And so, like, despite all of this, there was still people embracing this movie, embracing that attitude of, yeah, you hurt me, I'm gonna hurt you fucking worse. You even say something to me wrong, I'm gonna fucking shoot you in the head. Okay? And I think Todd Phillips was kind of like had his Dr. Frankenstein moment where he was like, holy shit, I made this movie to be like this artistic commentary on why this is all wrong. And the people who watch it are embracing this and embracing this character and like thinking that this is like the instruction manual for how to deal with being abused your whole life. And I think like he felt like very lucky that this monster that he created didn't go out there and attack anyone and no one got hurt because of the movie he created. Okay? And I think like he took it upon himself to take personal responsibility and go, oh shit, I did kind of present this in a way that was at least marketed to be glamorized. At least in the marketing of the first Joker, that Joker was being glamorized as fuck, as like an anti-hero and an anti-role model. And it wasn't really being shown as like the depth of how wrong it was all being portrayed in the film. So, you know, and then Joker went on to make $2 billion. And so Todd Phillips didn't want to make a sequel, but he knew WB was going to make a sequel nonetheless without him or Joaquin if they wanted to, because it was just too much money. Studios can't back down from that. So he knew, fuck it, I'm not going to let someone else make a sequel to my baby. So fuck it, throw me all this money, WB, and I will make you a Joker 2. Just give me full creative control and don't fuck with me. So they did. And so Todd and Joaquin got together and they said, hey, let's make a movie. And I'm not trying to build a straw man here, but I'm just like, I'm reading the room from seeing the film. They're like, hey, let's get together and make a fucking movie that turns Arthur Fleck into a good role model. That's right. In Joker 2, Folie Deux, Todd Phillips successfully turns Arthur Fleck into a good role model. So he takes the monster that he created, and while it's still out in the wild, he tames it and turns it into what people wanted it to be. Because Todd Phillips is like, oh, you want Arthur Fleck to be your fucking role model so fucking bad. Well, guess what? I will turn him into a good role model then for you. Watch this fucking movie and you'll see if you can fucking understand the Folie Deux. And at the end of this, I will explain what folie à deux even means and what in the greater context of all of this. So I think Todd Phillips was like, okay, I'm going to take personal responsibility for what I did in the first movie and what could have happened because of it. And I'm going to make a movie about taking personal responsibility for your actions and not trying to divert from them and to grow from them and to actually move forward in a positive direction. And I'm also going to make a film about suffering the consequences of your actions. So, from the opening shot of Joker 2 Folie à Deux, Todd Phillips makes you feel like you are in prison. It's just this really long, drawn out shots of like making you feel the consequences of this is what happens when you go out solving your problems by shooting people and killing people who have abused you. And Todd Phillips lets you know right there, hey, you're my fucking prisoner, audience. For the next 2.5 hours, you're my fucking prisoner. Okay? And you're going to suffer the consequences for the first film, whether you like it or not, like a prisoner. So, again, Todd Phillips tricks all of you through the marketing into thinking that Joker 2 Folie à Deux is going to be this fucking, ooh, he's finally the Joker now. The fucking anti-role model, the anti-hero, the get what you fucking deserve. And him and Harley Quinn are going to bust out and fucking kick society in the nuts like Mickey and Mallory. And fucking, ooh, yeah, tear everybody up and make this big statement and fucking stand up for all of us downtrodden people who have been shit on by society all day. So he still wanted to put that bait on the hook, but he also wanted to let the people know that, hey, I'm about to show you something. You're not just watching a movie, you're a fucking part of the movie now. You want to be part of the movie, you're part of it now. So when he announced that, hey, this is going to be a musical, that was Todd Phillips's way of poking the bear of these toxic Joker fans and saying, oh, yeah? You really think this is for you? Okay, watch this. And, this whole movie was constructed to be not only a genius masterpiece, but to also tank at the box office. Todd Phillips, he played every move perfectly so that Joker 2 would kill the Joker franchise, yet still go on to be the most brilliant film ever created and find its audience quickly after tanking at the box office. And so, like a good joke, So he constructed it so that it would fail because he doesn't want a Joker 3. He didn't want another $2 billion Joker movie so that they'd make a third one. And then he'd say, no, I don't want to fucking make a third one. And they say, well, we'll fucking make one without you. And we'll put Lady Gaga in there, He wanted to make sure this motherfucker died. And that WB would go nowhere near this fucking franchise again for a while and nowhere near his version. So he geniusly said, okay, hey, guess what? It's going to be a musical. That was the first, that was Todd Phillips' way of going like this to his own movie. So it was kind of like, he was aborting his own baby. So the moral of the story is, though, this movie is a genius masterpiece, but it's not a comfortable movie to watch. But neither was the first one. The first one wasn't comfortable to watch either. It made you feel a certain way for a reason. He's trying to be evocative and put you on a ride. And this one was really that. And so this movie is all about suffering the consequences of your actions. And Todd Phillips, wants you to feel that. And as a matter of fact, Todd Phillips, when he made this movie, I'm not trying to straw man him, he became the Joker. He was like, you know what? I'm going to become the Joker, and I am going to make a movie that actually I will become that version of the Joker that you want to be your fucking role model. And I will write a movie from his genius fucking perspective that's going to change all of your hearts and minds into fucking seeing Arthur Fleck as your role model and not the Joker. Okay? But that depends on how you fucking see this movie in the Folie à Deux, which I'll explain later, as I said. So, the musical scenes in this movie, what's brilliant about the musical scenes is this is not a musical. This is not a musical like you think, like everybody gets up singing and it breaks the fucking mold. No. The cool part about this is in this movie, you never see Arthur Fleck as the Joker. You never see Arthur Fleck as the Joker once in this movie. And I think that's very interesting. And, and it's kind of a bait and switch on Todd Phillips' part, but who cares? But you never see Arthur Fleck as the Joker in this movie. You see him in the Joker makeup, dressed as the Joker in the courtroom scenes at the end. But he's not the Joker. He's just dressed as him. He's not acting as him. You can tell he's a different person. He talks different. He composes himself differently. He doesn't, you can tell he's like a different fucking person. It's not the Joker. And the only time you see the Joker in this whole movie is in these musical numbers. And it just like flashes, and all of a sudden you're seeing Joker and Harley, and he's all dressed in the makeup, and she's singing, and they're dancing, and blah, blah, blah. And people mistake this as being hallucinations in Arthur's mind or hallucinations in Harley's mind. But really, Todd Phillips is setting them up to be hallucinations in your minds as Joker fans. Like you're sitting here experiencing the reality of the consequences of the fact that what Arthur Fleck does was wrong and he's stuck in prison. And you're daydreaming, going off into La La Land, coping with, oh man, I want to see the Joker. Where's the Joker? So he shows you these fucking unsettling musical numbers that are very evocative of Natural Born Killers and Mickey and Mallory. And they're offsetting, and like Joker's hitting people in the head with mallets and shooting people and like doing all the shit that you want to see him do. But he never talks. He just fucking shoots people and shit. And like Harley Quinn's being all crazy. And so he's like feeding you. Like he's giving you the bait is still on the hook. He's still like, okay, Joker fans, here's a little taste. Here's a little more of that. What you want, that you get what you fucking deserve. You get what you fucking deserve. Boom, 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 boom. And like these Joker fans who want that, you get what you fucking deserve shit, they don't see the subtext that when you're experiencing what it's like to be trapped in prison in this film, it's like, yeah, you get what you fucking deserve. You get what you fucking deserve. You get what you fucking deserve. Okay? You get what you fucking deserve. Okay? For shooting people, you get what you fucking deserve. So, and a lot of people aren't seeing that context, okay? But these musical numbers, they're hallucinations in your mind, in the toxic Joker fan's mind. You're the one tripping out going, oh man, I'm envisioning the Joker, blah, blah, blah. And that's where Harley Quinn's character comes in. And this is genius, okay? The fact that Harley Quinn, I'll explain the Folie à Deux here. Harley Quinn and Arthur Fleck in this movie represent two possible positions that you can take as an audience member watching this movie. You are either watching this movie from the perspective of Harley Quinn, where you want more than anything for Arthur Fleck to be the Joker and to be that fucking, you get what you deserve, motherfucking anti-hero, anti-role model, and go around shooting everybody and handling your problems with killing. You're either her, seeing the movie from her perspective, or you're seeing the movie from Arthur's perspective, where he's going, oh, hey, I just listened to my friend Gary Puddles, who was always nice to me, and I was always nice to him, and we were friends, and I really hurt him with what I did. Like when Gary Puddles gives his deposition on the stand, and he's interacting with Arthur, who's being some goofy fucking Southern fucking lawyer guy or something, mixed with, like, he's all over the place, like completely mad. And like when Arthur sees the pain that he put Gary through, and the fact that he put Gary through shit that was worse than what he was put through. And it reminded him that he was put through all this similar shit. Like, that really changed Arthur forever. And he realized in that moment that, oh my God, I did fucking hurt people. Like, my actions, like, went on to hurt people. And it's so brilliant. That ending scene is so fucking brilliant because Arthur's dressed in the fucking Joker makeup and he's ready to give his closing statements. And everyone who's watching this film from Harley Quinn's perspective, wanting to see that you get what you fucking deserve, shoot you in the head, Agent of Chaos Joker, gives some fucking monologue that kicks society in the nuts and blames them for everything I had to do. Everybody who his head I had to blow off was because of you, society, and what you fucking did to me. Everybody watching from Harley Quinn's perspective, watching this fucking movie, wanted Arthur to lay down some deposition that's just dick slapped everybody in the room and blamed them for all his problems. But instead, Todd Phillips flipped the script and he turned Joker into an actual fucking positive role model. Or should I say Arthur Fleck into an actual positive role model? Because from seeing what pain he caused his only friend in the world, Gary, to go through, he realized that no matter what I went through, Arthur Fleck realized in his heart that no matter how much abuse I've gone through, no matter how many times I was beaten or abused or tortured by people in this world, it was never okay to handle it in the way that I did by shooting people and killing 6 people. All right? He realized that in his heart. And instead of making excuses, at the end of that trial, he was so cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs in that fucking courtroom that he proved his motion of insanity plea. Like he was right there about to get off the hook and be just sent to a fucking mental institution instead of being put to death. And he said, you know what? No, I'm not going to blame society. I'm not going to blame the people who abused me. I'm not even going to blame the people who attacked me on the subway that started everything. I'm going to take accountability. It was my fucking finger that pulled the trigger, not fucking the people who punched me or the people who abused me or this or that or the people who did me wrong or Murray Franklin who fucking talks shit. It wasn't their fault. It was my fault. I'm the one who pulled the trigger and it was wrong. 2 wrongs don't make a right. Because when you do 2 wrongs, you get what you fucking deserve too. Look at me, I'm stuck in prison. I fucking killed all these people and it was wrong. And now I'm getting what I fucking deserve. And he took accountability. He owned up to his shit. He said, yeah, I'm mentally ill, but I'm not using that as an excuse. Yeah, I was abused. I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm owning up to my shit. And I'm not trying to get off the hook. And so he made that statement. That was the fucking statement he made. And what happened in that movie? Harley Quinn, she just walks out on him and she don't give a shit about him no more. And that's the genius part of, that's like a more, a more subtle part of the movie because, and I can relate to this because, I was on TV for about 4 years on a TV show and I was a YouTuber for about 10, 15 years. And so I've had people and women come into my life who try to get with me as like some kind of a conquest because they see me on TV and they see me on YouTube and they think they know me and they think they know everything about me. And they have this vision about who I am built up in their head because they watch me on YouTube or they watch me on TV. And this is something a lot of celebrities experience. And these people think they know you. And then when they get into your life, they don't want to actually get to know you. They just want you to live up to who they think you are and be that for them at all times. And that's perfectly illustrated with Harley Quinn, committing herself to the mental institution because she fucking fell in love with the character of Arthur Fleck because of a fucking made for TV movie that she became obsessed with because she felt so fucking downtrodden and like depressed about society, even though she's some rich girl who's got a doctor for a father and fucking has it all made. She's just, one of these girls who's depressed all the time and shit and wants drama. So she checks herself in to be with him, and she even sneaks into his cell and fucking makes him put on the Joker makeup to have sex with him. And he loses his virginity to Harley Quinn in the fucking cell, and she wouldn't fuck him unless he pretended to be the Joker, unless he put on the fucking makeup and looked the part. I mean, that's like, being a character in a movie, and then like you start dating some girl because you were an actor in the movie, and she starts like trying to get you to be that character instead of being yourself. Like, it's psychotic ass shit. But the moral of the story is, she walked out on him, but there was still people at the end of the movie who believed in Joker and like wanted to use him as this fucking idol as a way to go shooting people and like following in his footsteps and fucking capping people and doing everything wrong. And Arthur was just at the end of that movie, he's like, no, this is not what I fucking want. And he like, that's why he gets out of the car when those guys break him out of the fucking courtroom and they got him in the car and the clowns are like driving him away and he's like running away from him because he didn't want that shit. And so the whole Folie Deux thing is Todd Phillips is saying you're either watching this movie from Harley Quinn's perspective, where you're gonna fucking want Arthur Fleck to be the Joker the whole time, and you're trying to put the makeup on him yourself so you can make him into something you want instead of accepting him for who he is. And it's perfectly illustrated at the ending scene where Arthur Fleck is like going to meet his visitor, and this dude comes out and he's like, "Oh, I want to tell you a joke, man." Blah, 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 blah. And it's this inmate in the asylum in the prison who's just like obviously a fucking Joker type guy, like the fucking, "Ooh, I'm the fucking mastermind, Heath Ledger type fucking anti-hero fucking Joker that everybody wanted Arthur Fleck to be." And he tells him a joke, and then he says, "You get what you fucking deserve," and he stabs the shit out of Arthur Fleck in the stomach, and Arthur Fleck is laying there dead. Like, Arthur Fleck is in focus. The character, the guy you've been following for the first two movies, is laying there in frame, dying, taking his last breaths. But in the background, out of focus, is this guy who's like the Joker that you wanted in these movies. And he's cackling and he's cutting his fucking lips open and and in this last scene is where you find out whether you are Harley Quinn watching the movie or Arthur Fleck watching the movie. Because when you watch this movie for the first time, if you're sitting there trying to fucking look at this goddamn guy that you don't even know who he is in the fucking movie, and you're like paying attention to what he's doing out of focus in the background, like cutting his fucking mouth open and laughing like the Joker, instead of fucking looking at Joaquin Phoenix's final moments as his performance as Arthur Fleck laying there dying in the fucking ground. If your eyes for 1 second divert from Arthur Fleck's face in that final scene while he's dying and go off to like the out of focus hazy bullshit in the background where this new Joker guy is like laughing and cutting himself, then you're the Harley Quinn watching the movie. You're ready to throw Arthur away like yesterday's garbage to fucking focus on the new fucking psycho clown that you want to be your fucking anti-hero and go around killing people and kicking society in the nuts for spitting on you. And you really have to do some soul searching if that's you. And chances are the people that thought that this movie sucked, you saw it from a Harley Quinn perspective, and the joke's on you. The Folie Deux. Your madness became you suffering the consequences of not enjoying or understanding the lessons of this movie. And so you think it sucked and you want your money back and blah, blah, blah. When this is one of the most genius, prolific movies ever fucking created. But if you watch this movie now, knowing what it's all about, and you go back and you watch that scene, maybe you'll have the courage to just sit there and look at what Arthur Fleck is going through in his final moments. It's just staring at this stupid guy you don't even know who the fuck he is, just because he's becoming the Joker you always wanted to be in these movies, and he's cutting his lips open, and you just throw Arthur Fleck away. I guarantee you, most of you motherfuckers didn't even look at Joaquin Phoenix's final performance in that movie. You were too busy staring at that fucking dude in the background, because you're seeing things from that Harley Quinn perspective. And that's wrong. And you need to do some soul searching about why you're watching movies and looking for your heroes to be the type of people that go around shooting people in the head who do them wrong, instead of heroes like Arthur Fleck, who fucking own up to their bullshit and their mistakes and fucking say, I'm going to move on and be a better person, and I'm not going to blame it on others, even though I could, because I've been fucked over my whole life. Okay? That's your fucking role model. Arthur Fleck, the guy dying on the fucking ground in that last scene, not the guy behind him who stabbed him, who gave him what he deserved. Maybe what Arthur Fleck deserved was, you know, a chance to move on, but who cares? Who knows, right? But you should care. You should care about whether you're watching this movie from an Arthur Fleck perspective or a Harley Quinn perspective, because either you understand the message and the meaning behind this movie and you get the joke, or the fucking joke's on you. And it's like Arthur Fleck said, you wouldn't get it. You just wouldn't get it. And that's what this movie represents. And that's why, you know, I'm pretty fucking disappointed in a lot of people who said this movie sucks, because this movie doesn't suck in any way. Okay? This movie is about two wrongs don't make a right. This movie is about, if you've been abused, if you've been punched in the face, it doesn't give you the right to punch back. Okay, we live in a society that is telling people if someone hurts you, you fucking hurt them back worse. And you got all these people, including probably you watching this, that live by that mentality, whether it comes to physical violence or talking shit, or someone insults you or someone hurts you with their words. We all have this instinct to lash out at anybody who hurts us in any way. And we have this society that perpetuates that as being appropriate. And we have all these movies that perpetuate that as being an appropriate response. Okay? And I think Todd Phillips owned up to the fact that he created a movie that inadvertently ended up glamorizing dealing with your problems and dealing with abuse in this way. And he fucking owned up to it, and he rectified it in this movie. And he said, okay, I created this character, Arthur Fleck, and you guys want him to be your fucking role model? He wasn't supposed to be, but now I'm going to make him a fucking role model. I'm going to make him into a good role model, and you're not going to like it. If you're not willing to change and grow past this, oh, I'll shoot you for fucking with me, society. Like, Todd Phillips is trying to say, if you fucking watch this movie from that Harley Quinn perspective, how much different are you from the guy who was in the Rise of the Dark Knight shooting people with the motherfucking gun? That guy had a beef against society. He thought society fucked him over, so he went to the premiere of the Batman movie dressed as a Joker and shot the fuck out of all these people. Did they get what they deserved? Did he get what they deserve? What he deserves? Nobody deserved any of that. Okay? But if you're that person who watched Joker 2 Folie Deux from the perspective of Harley Quinn, and you just wanted Arthur Fleck to be that Joker, to be that guy who handles problems by shooting people in the head and saying, hey, fuck you, society. It's your fault I'm doing this. You really have to self-fucking reflect. Because this movie is genius. It's geniusly shot. The music is genius. Everything about it is so fucking genius. The acting, the performance, everything is perfect. And if you saw this movie as a bad movie or a shitty movie, it's because you're seeing it from that Harley Quinn perspective. And the joke's on you, and you better self-reflect about a lot of things. And so what I'm telling you is that this whole movie, Arthur Fleck is never allowed to be himself. Like, he's trying to change. He's trying to be a better person. He's trying to fucking accept responsibility for his actions, but he has all these people pulling him in these other directions. He's got the guards. Hey, Arthur, you gonna tell us a joke today, Arthur? You gonna tell us a joke, Arthur? Hey, Arthur, you got a joke for us? They won't let this Joker shit die. They won't let him move on, you know? And then you got the lawyer. Arthur, just tell them that you have split personality. Just tell them that you go to this other place and see flashing lights and blah, 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 and then you become someone else, and we'll get you out of this. And like you have Harley Quinn. Oh, put on the makeup. Be the Joker. Stop taking your medicine. Be the man I know you are. Let's go give them what they deserve. And you have all these people tugging at him, and he's just trying to move upwards to like healing from all the abuse he's had in his life and taking accountability for his actions and maybe getting out of prison and moving forward to a fucking institution where he can get the treatment he needs and maybe rehabilitate and get back out into society. But he's got all these people. No, you're the leader of the revolution. No, you're my Joker. No, you're crazy. No. And they never let him be himself. They never try to see who Arthur is. They never ask him, who are you? What are you? What is going on? They're always trying to tell him who he is. And you guys are not seeing this. You guys are looking at this movie like it's some boring shit. It's not. It's because you're going into it with expectations that, oh man, I want this to be the Joker that I see in the comic books, and I want it to lead into Joker, and I want it to be like Harley Quinn in the comics. That's not what Todd Phillips is doing here. Joker and Joker 2 were never Joker origin stories. They were never meant to be canon in any kind of DC universe, even though they sort of are, with Thomas Wayne and Bruce Wayne and all that shit being in the first movie, and Harley Quinn and all this, and Arkham and all this, and despite all that, Joker and Joker 2 were always meant to be commentary on the character of the Joker more so than an origin story of the Joker. It's like an origin story of how you become the Joker and how you prevent yourself as a cautionary tale from going down that path. And this movie has fundamentally changed me forever. I have learned so much from Arthur Fleck. His sacrifice at the end, where he just says, fuck this. What I did was wrong, and I'm going to accept culpability and accountability and not, like, it's changed me forever. Like, I will never, from this day forward, because of this movie, I will never adopt the notion of if someone hurts me, I'm going to hurt them worse. I'm never going to be like, okay, someone punches me, I'm going to punch them harder back. I'm not going to say if someone said something that hurts me, I'm going to say something that hurts him back. Because I've been known to do that. And we all have. Because especially people who have been picked on and abused their whole lives, and then they finally say, fuck it, I'm not going to take it anymore. And I've been treated like shit by people my whole life. Okay, I'm not going to try to get deep here, but me personally, I've been treated like shit by people. And now, like, that I'm older and wiser, when someone says something hurtful to me, I can, if I needed to, say something very hurtful back to them. But now that I watched this movie and I've accepted Arthur Fleck as a role model, a positive role model in my life, thank you, Todd Phillips, I've realized that no, responding to abuse by saying, hey, I'm going to fucking hit you harder than you hit me, or I'm going to fucking shoot you for like attacking me, or I'm going to do this, that's not the way to go. Okay? Just because you said something that hurts me doesn't mean I should say something that's going to hurt you worse in response. Because I should be the better person and say, hey, look, you're trying to insult me. Let's get along. Let's defuse the situation. Let's talk about this. Why don't you like me? Like, what's going on here? Let's not fight. Let's not be opposed to each other. Like, let's Just, diffuse the situation immediately. Like, you have to be the love you want to see in this world. And if you are victimized and you are abused or you are hit or you are hurt, it doesn't give you the right to hurt others. There's this notion of, oh, hurt people, or people who've been hurt others. And that's not appropriate and it's not acceptable. It's never acceptable to say that that's okay if someone hurts you to hurt them back. And unfortunately, that's still like the way most people in society feel. Like, hey, you talk shit about me, I'm gonna punch you. You punch me, I'm gonna punch you back. You punch me, I'm gonna shoot you. You know how many people like think it's okay to conceal and carry, and like anytime someone like tries to physically assault them or punch them, they're gonna just shoot and kill that person. They're just ready to fucking just kill that person. That's what these two movies are talking about, y'all. That lethal force is never an appropriate fucking response to anything. And like, y'all need to go back and watch Joker 2 Folie Deux, and now that you've seen this and realize that this movie was fucking profound and it was deep and it had such a profound positive message that you guys must have missed if you've seen it from the Harley Quinn perspective. But now you can use the Folie Deux to see it from Arthur Fleck's perspective when you go see this movie again. And I hope you do, because this movie deserves to make some fucking money back. Whatever, this movie is going to be appreciated for a very, very, very fucking long time, because it's so brilliant what Todd Phillips did here. It's beyond brilliant. Like, I could do a whole college course. I could teach a whole college course just on this movie alone. Not even the first one, just this movie alone. And it's so profound, and it's far from being a shitty movie and far from being bad, but you do have to kind of have a high IQ, and you have to kind of like understand all the shit that I just said in order to really fully appreciate this movie. And that is exactly why I decided to make this video and encourage you, even if you haven't seen the movie yet, to listen to this video first before going to see the movie. Because I'm forever changed. That part of me that was inside of me, that if someone punched me in the face, I would punch them back. Or if someone like said something mean to me, I would say something meaner. That's gone. That's gone after watching this movie. So Todd Phillips fucking succeeded. The people who can watch this movie from Arthur Fleck's perspective and actually see him as a role model by the end of this movie, I mean, like, those are the people that this movie is going to profoundly affect, and it can change the world. This movie really could go on to change the world if people actually understood the moral of it and went into the movie watching it from Arthur Fleck's perspective, not Harley Quinn's perspective. And that's the Folie Deux. Okay? And so now you know. Now you know what Joker 2 Folie Deux is all about. And it's fucking brilliant. And this is not a review of the movie. The movie is my film of the year, and it might be the best film of the 21st century, in my opinion. It's beyond brilliant. And I commend Todd Phillips for making a movie that gives these people who want that kind of hero, that anti-hero, anti-role model who goes around shooting everybody who fucks with them and dresses in Joker makeup. The people who need that to be their hero, I'm so glad that Todd Phillips gave them Arthur Fleck to heal them from needing that kind of hero and perhaps responding to abuse or anything in the ways Arthur Fleck did. And it's fucking genius. It was a way of Todd Phillips. He had his Dr. Frankenstein moment, and he got the monster under control, or at least he did his best. And I commend him for that. And if you're a Joker fan, those fucking musical numbers where like Joker is like being Joker and not Arthur Fleck, and it's just Joker, and he's like bashing people over the head with mallets and dancing and singing. That shit is like fucking god tier Joker shit. If like you're a Joker fan, Like Joker is fucking wicked in those scenes. It's like shit that could be in a fucking comic book, like right out of a fucking comic book. The lighting, the framing, when Joker's fucking singing, and like it's fucking grade A good shit. Like if you're a Joker fan, you get fed while watching this movie, even though the movie's not really about the Joker. You still get fed as a Joker fan. So really, I don't see anything to complain about in this fucking movie whatsoever. I have zero complaints other than the fact that a lot of people, the joke's on you instead of getting the joke. But unlike Arthur, who says, you wouldn't get it. I think after you see this movie, yeah, or after you see this video and you go back and watch Joker 2, yeah, maybe you will get it. And that's my hope. And I think that's Todd Phillips' hope too. So I hope you guys enjoy this review of why Joker Folie Deux is one of the most prolific and profound and deep and most amazing movies ever created, and how it is just getting shit on, but it will find its audience. That I assure you. That I promise you. So, on that note, I am going to bid you adieu. Without further ado. Anybody know what ado means? I see all these YouTubers. Without further ado. Without further ado. Ado, ado, ado. I think you ado need to research what ado even means and where that phrase even comes from. But anyways, without further ado, go back and see Joker 2 Folie Deux and enjoy it. See it from Arthur Fleck's perspective, please. And let it change your heart forever. Because two wrongs never make a right. And yeah, we're going to do this, y'all. Much love, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Do-do-do-do-do-do. That's all, folks.
The following announcement has been paid for by Ebonism World Order.